I'm Killy Willy the Penguin. I shake until I'm blue. My head is hot and my feet are cold. Now what?
Hey guys, welcome to another mod review. Today we'll be talking about a mod called ElkBuffBars. What this does is allow you to customize your buffs and debuffs and the display of them, and pretty much takes over the default buff display over on the WoW UI, which usually appears up here somewhere. What you see now is ElkBuffBars right here displayed on my screen. Now the great thing about this is it's very customizable. You could actually create different buff bars so that you could see different buffs and debuffs, and I'll show you how that works. So one of the great thing about this mod is the power of this mod. Not only allows you to create and customize the different ways your buff and debuff looks, but allows you to make different buff bars to display anywhere on your screen. Now the purpose could be in many, but the way I use this is detrimental to the different types of classes I play. So let's take a look really quick at how to use this and how to create a new group first, and then I will show you some examples of how I'm using this. First of all, I have it set up on my foo bar, and that's how I get to it, the configuration screen, or you could just type /EBB config and it'll pop up the configuration screen here. Now let's make a new group, a new buff group. There it is. Okay, now it gives you the default settings for the buff groups. We go in here and we can change the name of the bar, so give it a unique identity. New buff bar. We have all these settings here. You could change the way it looks, what you want to track. Like for example, go to filter here, and right now it's only set to track buffs, but I can uncheck that and have it just tracking stuff, what I'm currently tracking, or any debuffs I might have. So right now we'll set this bar to display our buffs, and you have the ability to make a whitelist and blacklist. In other words, show all the buffs that I check here, or I could say go to the blacklist and say don't show these buffs on this buff bar here. Okay, so you got the power there to display whatever you want to display on this bar. Also, if you go to bar layout, you could change the way it looks. You could say show icons or not show icons, how the text looks, and what you want the text to display for you. For example, right now the top left text is displaying the name, rank, and count of the buff, but I could just have it show me the rank or the time left on the buff. Okay, and how you want to set it up is customized to whatever you need it to be. You set up the height, how big you want it to look, set out the width, how wide you want the buff bar to be, and pretty much stuff like that. And I'll show you exactly why you would make a new buff bar. Now I mentioned the power of this mod really lies in the ability to make different types of buff and debuff bars. Now why would I do that? For example, let's look at my pally here. Now I have on my UI, as you can tell here, I have two buff bars set. One show the buffs I currently have in combat, as well as the debuff of my target. Now this is important as a pally because I need to know certain things when I go into combat. For example, when I go to combat, I go ahead and start up Seal of Vengeance. For example, if I'm using Seal of Vengeance, and it shows me right here to my left that currently has 14 seconds left on it. Let's go up here and judge my mob here, and then right here on the right side it shows the mob's debuffs that I set on them. Now it's important here because I want to see how many stacks of Holy Vengeance I have on them, caused by my Seal of Vengeance. Now I have 5. Now that means that's my cue to judge them when I have 5 stacks on them, because I want to do as much damage as I want. That's one of the examples of how I'm using ElkBuffBars to help me with combat. So let's take a look at how I set up these two groups for myself. Go ahead and turn on the anchors here so I can see where it's at. Now on the left right here, I just want to show all the stuff that in combat that I want to keep track of. So what I did was go ahead and targeted this group as the player, which is me, and I had it set on filter for only buffs, and I went to the white list and I checked off all the buffs I wanted to show during combat that I want to keep track of. Now on the right hand side here, the Q debuffs group here, this is basically the debuffs on my target that I want to keep track of. I have it set to target, basically the target I'm fighting, and then I have it filtered out to debuffs, and I have it filtered out to all debuffs. I should really pick the debuffs I only want to show, because in a raid that list will start getting long because it will show all the debuffs on that target from other people. But I only want to keep track of my debuffs, so I should really go in here and click Holy Vengeance for the times that I want to use Seal of Vengeance, as well as some other stuff like Righteous Vengeance and Vindication. Basically Vindication when it's on that target. So that's basically how I set up these two groups to help me out during combat. Okay, here's my Mage, and one of the things that Mage does is they have a focus target sheep macro. This is important for a Mage to have and to keep track of their CC abilities during raids or during instances. So let's see what we can do here to make it easier for us to keep track of the target we have focused and how long they have on sheep. Let's go ahead and open the buff bars and create a new group. We'll call this group My Sheep. Okay, and then I only want to target my focus, and I will only want to filter it on my debuffs here, polymorph. Okay, to only show that. So let's change the type to debuffs. Okay, and I don't need all this nitty gritty of it, so let's go ahead and go to the text. The text shown, I only want to show the time left on it. Okay, and make sure all the other text here that are being shown should be hidden, because I don't want all the other text to show. Now they're all hidden. Now let's go ahead and adjust my bars. I'm going to make it thin, because all I want to see is the icon and the timer. Make it big, like that big, alright? Very big, so I will never forget 2 sheep. Okay, there's the time on it. Go back to the text. Let's make this text font size a little bigger so I can see it. Alright, there's my sheep. Let's put it right here. I will never forget it if I put it right here. Okay, take off the anchor so it'll disappear and only appear when I do sheep. There we go. Let's go up to this Cabal Tomb Raider. Cast sheep on it. Voila. Take a look at that. I have 47 seconds left on my sheep. So now I go around and blast some shit around here. My sheep's still going. Alright, sheep still has 30 seconds left. Killing at the target here. As you can tell, I also set up certain buffs to show up. Okay, let's go ahead and re-sheep. Get back in range here. So only 12 seconds left. There we go. Refresh the sheep. And notice from the Pally example here, I show certain things. They're debuffs on my target, as well as the buff that shows up. For example, I have Fireball, so I could go ahead and cast a Fireball now. The instant Fireball ability for my Mage. And one last example here. Now, before Wrath, I was a combat rogue on my rogue here for raids. And one of the things about a combat rogue is that you had to keep track of your slice and dice. So I made a group only to show my slice and dice and place it prominently here so I could be reminded every time that I need to refresh my slice of dice. Now, as a mutilate rogue, which I am currently now, that doesn't matter much anymore, so I've removed that group a while back. But I just wanted to show you that you could take one specific ability and keep it highlighted so you know when to refresh it or do whatever you need to with it. And that's the power of ElkBuffBars. I pretty much use it for everything now. I still use dot timers, but only to keep track of dots as a one-shot display to show how many targets are being dotted when I'm on my Warlock. For quartz, I turn off the target buffs and debuffs, as well as the player's target buffs and debuffs, and use it only as a casting bar mod. And that's pretty much it. If keep in mind, if you're a hunter, you could also make a group to keep track of your traps and stuff, so you really don't need a hunter trap timer anymore. So that is the power of ElkBuffBars. I hope that this helps. I hope you download it, check it out, see if it's good for you. And then, I will talk to you guys later.
the Fresh Maker.